In this video, we'll explore how to load data from GCS to BigQuery using Data Transfer Service. First of all, what is Data Transfer Service? So BigQuery Data Transfer Service is a fully managed Google Cloud service that automatically loads data into BigQuery. As I said, it is fully managed and serverless, and also it's a zero code. We just configure the pipeline once, set our schedule, and DTS handles the rest. In this example, we'll load Parquet file from Google Cloud Storage bucket into BigQuery table. Here you can see all the data reading and loading part handled by BigQuery Data Transfer Service. We just configure the job with our source information and destination information and schedule it, and rest of the thing handled by Data Transfer Service. So on high level, we can say BigQuery Data Transfer Service can load from various sources like Google Cloud Storage, Amazon, Azure, and load data into BigQuery. And also we can schedule it or we can run on demand. And no code required here and fully managed by Google. So let's go inside and create our first data transfer service job. All right, I'm inside my Google Cloud Console. First of all, we need to select a project. So in my case, I'm using demo project. Next, to open data transfer service, go to navigation menu, find BigQuery and click BigQuery Studio. Once BigQuery Studio opens, so in the left side menu bar, you can see under the pipelines and integration, so data transfer service. Click data transfer service. So right now there is no service. So let's create transfer. First, we need to select the source. So this service supports wide variety of sources, but in our case, we will use Google Cloud Storage as our source. So based on your source selection, it will show the configuration. So for example, right now we selected Google Cloud Storage. So for that source, it actually showing all this configuration. But if we choose different, for example, PostgreSQL, so now actually the source configuration is completely different than the cloud storage. So let's go back to our cloud storage as a source. For this video, we'll focus on Google Cloud Storage as our source. Next, we need to provide a name. So we're saying GCS to BigQuery. So in schedule option, we have different frequency. We can run every minutes, hours, days, means every day, every week, every month, or custom, or on demand, means whenever we want, we can run it, or event driven. For example, if we choose day, then we need to provide what time we want to execute the job. If we select custom, then these are some examples. It's like cron-like scheduling option every day at 10 p.m. or every Monday at 10 a.m., something like this. And another option could be on demand. If we select on demand, that means no schedule, but we can run manually every time. And other option also event driven, means in case any event like any new file created or modified in the storage bucket, so it will run automatically. So in that case, we need to provide PubSub subscription here. So let's schedule the job to run daily at 10 a.m. and the time is UTC. And the next radio button, you can select start now, means the job will enable now, or we can actually start at a set time, means maybe we can set this job to start running from after 1 week, or maybe starting from next month. But in our case, we just want to test it right now. So the job will be enabled right now. And here it is saying the job scheduled to run every day at 10 a.m. UTC starting now. So the next configuration is destination setting. So first we need to provide a data set. So let's go to BigQuery Studio. So I'm opening another tab here. And here under the project, we can see we have an existing dataset, demo dataset. So I'm going to use this demo dataset. So let's select the demo dataset. So it is showing demo data. We have only one dataset, so we're using this one. So next option to choose destination table type. So in our case, we are choosing simple native BigQuery table, but there is another option, like it's a new option, Lakehouse Iceberg table. So it's a table actually sitting on top of files. It is the same concept as Apache Iceberg. But in this video, we are just focusing on the native table load. So next thing, we need to provide destination table name. So let's go to my Visual Studio Code Editor. So here we are going to use customers Parquet files, just a test file. So in these files there are 5 fields: customer ID, name, email, region, sign up date, and is premium. So there are 6 fields. Then I have a SQL script to create the table structure into the BigQuery dataset. So I'll provide these scripts into the description, don't worry. So let's copy the script and create the table structure. Go to BigQuery SQL query editor. So let's paste and let's see if we have this table, existing table. So right now we don't have that table, so I'm creating this table. 5 fields: customer ID is integer, name, email, region, those are string, and sign up date is a date, and the last one is premium, is a boolean type. So let's execute. So the table structure created. Let's select, and there is no data right now. So go back to our data transfer job. So the destination table is our customers table. So next we need to provide the GCS bucket information. So before that, let's go to the bucket. So find the Google Cloud Storage buckets. So I'm opening into a new tab and I have a couple of buckets here. So I'm going to use bucket BigQuery 3 for this demo. So right now it is empty. So let's upload our test Parquet file here. So upload files. So customer Parquet and customer Parquet is uploaded successfully. So let's go back to the job configuration. So from here we can select buckets. So bucket BigQuery 3 is our bucket. So inside that we have customer Parquet file. Select. So here, instead of the specific file, we can use wildcard character also. Like instead of the exact file name, we can use wildcard.parquet, means all the Parquet files under this bucket will be loaded. But so because we have just only one file, so we can select like this. But make sure the destination table is customer. The schema definition, the field should be the same for all files. In this bucket, if we have multiple files but the file structure is different, then the job will fail. But if we have like multiple files, same structure, for example, customer 1, 2, 3, 4 different files, so it will load. So it will load all the files into the same destination table. Means you can have multiple files but the same destination, and the schema structure must be same, otherwise the job will fail. Next, the write preference, we have 2 options. Append means it will always insert, and mirror means it will truncate and insert, like it will delete everything fast then insert. For demo, let's select append. So there is another option here. If we check this one, so it will delete the source file after the transfer. So let's uncheck this. We don't want to delete the file. And the file format, not CSV, so it supports CSV, JSON, Avro, Parquet, and others. So our file is Parquet. So next configuration option is number of errors allowed, means maximum number of bad records that can be ignored. So in our case, 0 means if any bad record it finds, it will terminate the job. Next option is decimal target type, because from other systems, if any decimal comes to BigQuery, how this will treat. So there are some options like all the decimal field we can treat as numeric, big numeric, or string. So let's, by default, I think it's a numeric. So we can say numeric. Another option is ignore unknown values. For Parquet source, you have different options. Data type, you can treat as a string, or if you have list data type, so you can enable this list interface. So in our case, Parquet is a simple Parquet file with 6 fields, so we don't need them. So these options are for other types. So just use these as default. And next thing, the service account. So if you don't select any service account here, the user, your own credentials will be used to run this job. So instead of using your own credentials, you can always select a service account. So in our case, we are going to use existing service account GCS PQ loader SA. So let me show you the permission assigned to this service account. So let's go to navigation menu, I am admin, and the select service account. So I'm opening a new tab. So under new tab, so this service account we're using GCS PQ loader SA. Click, and inside that it has some more other permissions because I was using this one for other testing. But the main permission you need, BigQuery data editor, and the storage permission to read data from storage. So storage object admin is fine, and BigQuery data editor. These are the two roles you need. So always start with less permission. If it requires more, you can always add them. So I'm deleting the unnecessary roles from here. So we don't need this one. So these three permission we need. So I'm going to save it and check again. So we have just three roles now: BigQuery data editor, bucket viewer, and the storage object admin. So let's go back, and the final options are the notification settings. So we can enable email notification. If we enable email notification, then the email will go to the user the job created. So this service account will run this job, means this service account will receive the email, so it will not work for us. And another option, we can set up pops up notification, but we're not testing this one right now. So let's save the job, click, go back to data transfer service again, and we can see the job created, and it's scheduled every day at 10 a.m. and next scheduled run will be tomorrow morning. So here the time actually showing as UTC. So it actually converted to the my local time. So my local time is UTC -4. So it converted to 6 a.m. So instead of waiting for next run, let's trigger the job manually. So let's go inside the job, and we can click run transfer now. And we're selecting run one time transfer now. Click OK. So it's saying transfer run scheduled. So we can refresh, and we can see it is running. The transfer job is in progress. So click view details. So it will show details here. So let's expand little bit. So here we can see the transfer load date, this one. The second step is load one file matching, and then the last status is job, this one, table customer started. So means it is still in progress. And finally we can see the job completed successfully. If we expand, we can see the status completed successfully, number of records 100 records loaded with error 0, means it is completed successfully. And the final summary is succeeded, job is completed successfully. Here also it is showing the job completed successfully. So let's go back to BigQuery if the records are loaded successfully. So let's query the table. Yeah, we can see all rows loaded, so there should be 100 rows, and we can see 100 records are loaded successfully. If we go back to the job again, transfer job, and click the job, we can edit the job as well. Yeah, so we cannot edit everything. We can edit the scheduling time. Instead of days, now we can schedule to different time, custom, on demand, or event driven we can do. But the destination table and the source information, we can no longer edit them. So it's disabled right now, it's fixed. So once you deploy the job, those are fixed. You cannot change them anymore. But few things GCP allow to change in the job even after the deployment. So we can enable the notification now. We can change these. So these are the editable properties in the job, but few things, so the source and destination information, you cannot change anymore. So that is how we can load files from GCS bucket to BigQuery table. So in my next video we'll explore some more features of GCP, and thanks for watching. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.